Hey guys, Nate CrossFit Industry here on Sunday, Mobility Day. Hopefully with the beautiful weather, you guys are enjoying some active recovery. But for those that want a little bit of a mobility piece, we're going to go through 3 movements that kind of attack a whole bunch of different systems. We're going to look at some ankle, hip, and knee stuff to restore our squat. And we're going to look at some thoracic work, and then we're going to finish off with some hamstring and glute stuff. So I'm going to go through these movements. We're not going to go through the full reps together. I'm going to let you go ahead and do those on your own. We're just going to go through the movements, what we're really looking for while we're doing these, and what we should see as a result of these, okay? So what you're going to need today, foam roller, a band, and maybe something to anchor it to. Can be a post, can be something outside. If you have a squat rack, just something that you can actually anchor that band to. Something to sit on, a box ideally, can be a footstool, just something, a hard surface, stair, and then a lacrosse ball, or if you can have a rolling pin in your kitchen, go ahead and get that, okay? So feel free to go ahead and pause this video as we're going before you go to the next movement so you can perform the actual reps. We're going to let you go through these on your own pace because sometimes you might find some systems a little bit, need a little bit more attention than the others, so we don't want to move on to the next one before you're ready. So go ahead and spend the time that you need to spend to get the full benefit of the 3 movements we're going to look at today. Okay, so the first one is going to be kind of the air squat test. We're just going to test the 3 parts of the air squat from the hip down, that hip, that knee, and that ankle. So if you have a mirror, if you have your camera, and you can see yourself, go ahead and let's go ahead and give ourselves our most virtuous air squat. Let's just go ahead and look at that position. Let's look at the ankle, foot pressure, the knee position, extension position, the hip position, the hip depth. Okay, just go ahead and there, see how that feels. See if there's anything that's not feeling that great. Those systems, the knee, the ankle, the hip. Go ahead and stand it up. Let's hit another one. A little self-assessment. 2 more. Good. So what we're going to start with is a band on an anchor point. And the band doesn't have to be crazy, thick, doesn't have to have a lot of tension. We're going to put the tension on ourselves. So the first point is going to be that band is at a low point on the ring in line with my ankle. What I'm going to do, I'm going to step out to about 60% tension on this band, maybe a little higher depending on how thick your band is. But we want to feel like it's kind of pulling us back towards the ring we have to resist it, but not to a point where we can't control it, okay? So the important thing with this is that you can see that I am out from the ring. I want that distraction point to be behind me so that it's trying to pull me backward and I'm able to resist that by putting some tension to that band. So I'm just going to have that band point out, ankle to ankle height, and I'm going to go ahead and hit 10 squats from this position. Okay? 10 squats at that ankle height. I know that wasn't 10. For the sake of time, I'm going to move it up to my knee now. So I'm going to move the anchor point to my knee, and I'm going to move the band point to my knee. So it's going to be on the inside of my knee, kind of going from the bottom to the top, okay? So what's going to happen now, it's going to pull my knee out, so I'm going to be able to resist that slightly, put a little bit of tension on it, find that nice knee position, that nice vertical shift, down to that ankle that we were just testing as well. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, step out from the ring, 60% tension depending on the thickness of the band, get into my air squat, I'm going to perform 10 good squats nice and slow. And I can already see how much that is putting this knee into alignment versus the leg that has no guidance and no resistance. Look at the difference just there. Okay, so go ahead and hit your 10 squats there. Next, I'm going to take that ankle point all the way up to my hip. I'm going to get that band right underneath my groin. Okay, right in the bottom of my pelvis here. Same thing, stepping out, anchor points behind me, 60% tension. into that air squat. Now, because my hip is going to be below that anchor point, when I'm at the bottom of the squat, it's going to be trying to pull me up, so I'm able to put some pressure as I go to the bottom of my squat to really test and have some guidance in that end range of the bottom of our squat position. So you have a little bit of a safety here. So again, I should be feeling this, trying to pull my hip back and open. I'm going to be able to resist that a little bit, still maintain that nice knee position, knee out, vertical shin, foot flat on the ground. I don't want to get into that position there. Nice full foot pressure on the ground as I perform my squat. Okay, after we've hit 10 on that hip, go ahead, take a band down. And I'm just going to give myself a 3 air squat retest now that I've done my whole left side. I'm going to look at the difference in the function of that hip, knee, and ankle as to getting that into alignment. Okay, so pretty big difference in this leg versus the right. That's not height of the knee, depth of the hip, pressure of the foot. Okay, it's going to feel really unbalanced when we just do that one leg. So now we're going to go over, switch the band. You only have one break point, that's fine. I just wanted to show all the way down the bottom, hit it on the ankle, step it out, 60% tension, band points behind me, hit your 10 squats. Hit those squats in that ankle, move it up, knee, move it up, hip, give yourself a retest, see if we get both sides back into alignment and synchronicity. And if we still have any disparity from the left to the right and how it feels, how it's moving, how it's tracking, go ahead and redo the movement until we feel that we have a nice balanced air squat. Okay? Next, we're going to move on to some thoracic work. So thoracic work kind of from the bottom of the rib cage up to the top of the shoulders. And for this, we just need a foam roller around. So what we're going to do, we're going to give ourselves some bear hugs. We're going to work from the bottom of our rib cage up to the top. And we're going to add in some overhead extension. Just going to shoot the camera down here a little bit so you can see. There we go. So we're going to start with, I'm going to find that bottom of the rib cage, that beginning part of that thoracic at the bottom. I'm going to reach across my body, give myself a nice big air hug. I'm going to go back and forth on this foam roller. No amount of reps here, guys, just go until you feel that you got some benefit out of that one segment. And then from there, I'm going to reach overhead and test. If I can go east-west, I'm going to test my vertical position of that full head range, getting that overhead position. And I'm going to, again, try to go side-to-side balance position while still working that one part of the thoracic spine, side to side, with adding this overhead element. Okay? I want you to find about 5 different spots in this region that you're going to gradually move that foam roller up. Get that same movement again, so I'm going to move that foam roller up into the next part of my ribs and that thoracic spine. I'm going to give myself a big air hug. We're going to work side to side. Make sure that we try to keep breathing here. It's easy to stop breathing when we're putting pressure on our rib cage. So make sure that we find a position that we can still inhale and exhale in. That second position, get into that overhead. Again, work it side to side. Okay? I want you to spend a good 15 minutes in in these movements, we've got 5 different spots that we're looking for. So let's go ahead and spend about 3 minutes each one of those spots on those bear hugs, going side to side, and then in that overhead position, working side to side again, using that foam roller to help articulate and restore some function to our thoracic spine. Okay? So that's just going to help for our posture, that's going to help for our overhead position, it's going to help for a whole bunch of different ranges that we may otherwise get rounded here. We want to make sure that we have the ability to get that nice thoracic extension, especially when we're in an overhead position. Okay? So a good 15 minutes on that movement, 4 or 5 different areas, 3 minutes on each segment that you find in there. Last one we're going to do, just need a box, a stair, bench press bench, anything like that, something that's just a little bit firm so that you can push back into it. And I've got 2 options here. I've got a lacrosse ball, paintball, and I've got a rolling pin. So what we're going to look for here is really attacking from the low connection of the glute into the hamstring, right to the bottom of the hamstring, so that we can get some really good extension and use that hamstring. If we're biking constantly, running, hiking, then we're going to be in this position a lot. And if we're sitting a little bit more these days, in this position a lot, so we want to really try to get back to that nice end range position of that hamstring, patella tendon, that knee function, okay? So what we're going to do, if you have a lacrosse ball, we're going to find 3 different positions across our hamstring. Don't just keep it going right down the middle, hit the left, hit the right. And what we're going to do with this is I'm just going to sit up nice and tall as I can, and I'm going to do 10 extensions to that full end range of my leg. And then I'm going to move that lacrosse ball over to the side. I'm going to find it again. I'm going to move it to the inside, do 10 again. I want you to treat your hamstring like it was your thoracic and find those 5 different ranges from the top to the bottom and work all of them in that position of, of extension. Again, the lacrosse ball is going to take you 3 different times to get all the way across that hamstring so we get that full saw or floss feeling in. If we have a foam roller, something like this, rolling pin, we can use that rolling pin to get a really good compression of our entire hamstring across that segment that we're in. And I can use that to provide that. This is really, really good. If you don't have one of these, go to a dollar store and get a rolling pin. Really, really good for these shorter areas where the foam roller might not be able to get in as good. Okay? So after we've done those 4 or 5 different segments of the hamstring, moving that, actively each piece, be the lacrosse ball or the rolling pin, and down, and we're getting some good extension here, alleviating and allowing some more sliding of that hamstring to that leg extension. We can put a little pressure on that hamstring just in this seated position, just by bringing our torso forward, okay? So that body weight now is getting over that compression point wherever I have that lacrosse ball or rolling pin. I'm just going to find all those same segments that I had. I'm going to move it down. I'm going to find a different one. This one can get a little intense. You just be mindful of how far we're going forward. It's a really deep pressure and release of that hamstring between our body weight, the rolling pin, and the item we're sitting on. So we're just going to give ourselves 10 contract and relaxes in this seated position. Move that rolling pin again. Find those spots. And then move it on over. Again, if you're using a lacrosse ball, just make sure we hit middle, left, and right on that same theory of just using our body weight to provide some more pressure on that point between our hamstring and the box. Okay? So do that. Again, we're going to need to spend 5 to 7 minutes per leg. So this is another 10 to 15 minute piece, combined with the 15-minute pieces of the thoracic, probably 15 minutes on the 3 points of that air squat. Work on restoring some of these functions. Guys, give yourself some tests and retests just to see if, hey, did I increase my ability to extend my leg, or am I still down here? Do I have a little bit more use and activation of that hamstring? I have some more end range in that thoracic position. And as my air squat restored a little bit, and is it moving and sliding a little bit more free to get me going for the next week? All right, guys, enjoy this wonderful weather. I hope everybody is doing well, and we'll see you this week from Indestri.